All right, in these tough times, there are so many people looking for jobs. So how do you make yourself stand out from the rest? We got some good ideas. Here's the UT San Diego's Director of Human Resources, Cory to tell us how to get hired. Or you guys, because I got a job.
You got a job. I got a job.
I got a job.
So
but we want you guys to have a job.
That's right.
And not only just a job, we want you to have your dream job. So you gotta be a standout, right, Cory?
Well, you got to be a standout, but I mean, part of the problem right now is, well, there are some jobs. You know, everyone kind of says there's no jobs available. There's jobs, but there's so many people that are out of work right now.
Competition's stiff.
Competition is really stiff, and you know, so many people know somebody who's unemployed. So when a job opening does come up, you know, hold on, I got a friend who can fill that in. And if there's not specific requirements for the job, then it's easy to just fill it in with somebody that you know and try to help someone out. So the competition is very stiff, and jobs are going to people who know people. So it's really connections at this point.
That's true, but I feel also like if you're a talent, if you are really the diamond in the rough, whatever, or just this rare talent, employers want you.
Yeah, they do want you right now. So what the big deal is, you got to stand out to folks, and you got to know where the jobs are being posted. So, you know, if you're looking for a job right now and you're not having a good time, I like to call it guerrilla tactics. You have to go at them. You have to hit the streets. You've got to be knocking on doors. You've got to be hitting a core number of websites every single day to find that job. When they first open up, sometimes a lot of the resume systems, they'll only accept the first 50 qualified resumes in it. So if you're not one of the first people, they're never going to look at you anyway. So you really have to be on top of it. It's like buying a
lottery ticket.
It is. You've got to be on top of it every day, checking the websites that you want to check, if it's certain companies, if it's certain job boards, checking those every morning, because that's when they get updated, and you got to apply immediately.
And it's like more work trying to find a job than actually having a job.
This is true. But if you're unemployed, any expense that you paid, I believe, I'm not a tax accountant, but
that would be a good question for a tax
accountant. That's right.
Here.
You can get, you can write that off on your taxes. I know that, but it is like a full-time job.
All right. So what other tips? What are the websites that they should hit?
Well, obviously, naturally, you want to hit utsandiego.com, where we have all the jobs posted. But if you're hitting some of the other boards, but most importantly than the boards, what are the companies you want to work for? I imagine there's certain companies that you might be interested in working for, so you should really go and check their website every day, because they're probably going to post on their website before they go to any job board.
Good idea. That's a good idea. What other tips?
Well, I think one of the big things that we get is folks whose resumes don't really highlight any accomplishments. You know, they spent the first half of their resume talking about fluff. You know, I'm detail oriented. Well, that's subjective.
I was,
you know,
I was president of Sigma Pi Pi.
Exactly,
whatever.
exactly.
Gareth.
Or that they're bilingual, and maybe that's at the bottom of their resume.
And that's huge.
It's a big thing in San Diego County. We've seen resumes of people who win, you know, Employee of the Month or Employee of the Year things, and it's buried under the resume. I never even got to that.
That's more important than be president of your freaking frat or your sorority. Okay, go.
Well, but in sorority, you're talking about schools and college. Now, what about folks will put on their resumes, they'll have their college on top. And I saw a resume just the other day of a college on top, and they graduated college in 1975. If you
oh, geez.
If you graduated,
that's not good.
That's right. Well, it's a lot less relevant if it's 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of people, they're proud of their education, which is good, but it's not always the most important thing in the world, especially if it was years ago. So I would say if your graduation was greater than 5 years ago, you probably don't want it on top of your resume.
It reminds me of the guy who was a football star in high school, and he always lives those glory years, and he never moves on in life.
That's right. I still do that. I
always
still talk
reinvent
about
yourself,
my days.
folks. Always reinvent yourself.
And well, always reinvent yourself, but always be updating your resume.
As you update yourself,
That's right. One of my first jobs, I remember I was sitting in the controller's office, and he had been there for 25 years, and he was updating his resume, and I was all worried. What are you updating your resume for? Are you leaving? I update my resume every 6 months, and he's been here 25 years. So that's a good tip for everyone, even if you've been on your job. Update
He's organized. I love it.
That way, if the job you want does come around, boom, you can apply immediately and not have to fix your resume.
Let's talk about time, because you have a funny story to tell, and I think the viewers would, you know, love this. A time thing, like how important it is. It's better to even plan to be 30 minutes early, because stuff happens. I don't know about you guys, but the more I'm pressed for a timer, the more important that I have to be somewhere at a certain time. I'm always going to hit uncontrolled environments, traffic. My kid will fall down and need my, mommy's love, whatever. I spill something on my outfit, I got to change 3 times.
Well,
so you've
heard about the story, obviously.
No, I saw in the notes there was a story. So tell us the story real quick.
I had a young lady who was coming to interview for a position from about 6 months ago, and she showed up 15 minutes late for the interview. And I wanted to give her a chance to redeem herself. Maybe, we do have a difficult location to get to sometimes if the Google Maps or MapQuest won't get you there. So I offered her, oh, did you have a hard time finding the place today? And she looks me square in the face and says, oh, no, I shop in Mission Valley and Fashion Valley all the time. I know exactly where you guys are. So it was like, you chose to be 15 minutes late for an interview? We didn't even get back to my desk. I mean,
What'd
obviously.
you say? Did you cut her off? Teach her a lesson? Did you school the little pup?
No, I went ahead and did the interview, but from that moment on.
Why? She wasted your time. I would be like, thank you. Call me. I hope you take your next interview more serious.
But for the point of it, I would always say get there 30 minutes early. Like you said, traffic. You don't know if there's guest sign-in or parking issues.
You can count on something.
30 minutes early, and then sit in your car for the last 30 minutes and prep your answers. I mean, nothing's worse than. So tell me about your last job. And so on my last job,
let me look at my
resume. But I've had someone say that to me. They do that.
They had to look at the resume.
Look at the resume. Or, oh man, what did I do in that last job?
That's funny.
What did I do in that last job? So, take 15 minutes, get some last preparations together so you don't look like a fool when you're sitting in my office. I'm embarrassed for the people sometimes.
I love it. I got to tell you something. You have great tips. I have one tip myself because I also have my business, but I think this might not coincide with your tip. My tip is be willing to work for free and intern and prove yourself, because I don't know about this generation. Are they willing to do that? Every important job that I had starting out when I was reinventing myself, because I had a couple careers, I always got in there, got dirty, worked for free, and paid my dues and proved myself to get to the next level. And then you bypass all the competition. When employers see you're willing to work for free, and you're the first one there, last one to leave, and you can, even if you're not the best one, they know you have the chutzpah to become a great talent or whatever you're doing.
As long as we're doing shameless plugs, Monday mornings at 8:30, 8:45 is the job of the day on the segment. So this morning we did a resume critique, which was exactly that. The person has a bachelor's degree, a secondary degree that they got overseas, and then they also have a master's degree, but his most relevant job was guest service representative at the convention center. So get those jobs interning, working for free, or even if it's for college credit.
Yeah, we take interns here. Most companies do. Most companies want the free labor, and if that's your time to shine.
Absolutely.
You prove yourself. Well, we've hired interns here. They came in here.
We have at least 10 interns, I think, right now that are getting school credit, and they're learning on the job what they can do.
But we've hired interns as full-time employees from being an intern, and that was an unpaid intern. So we are good like that.
And that's the time to do it when you're in college, when you're not trying to make your mortgage payment, or you got the wife and kids to support. Do those internships now.
But Cory, I'm going to tell you, when I've had to reinvent myself situational times in my life where and it's kind of demeaning at first, you think, but get that out of your head, because there's honor in work. And even later in life, I had to be an intern. I already had my degrees, and I went in and worked for free and proved myself.
Well, it works. It goes back to what we said at the beginning. There are so many people that are looking for jobs. If you can come in and say, hey, forget that, I don't need a salary for the next 3, 4, 5 months while I learn the ropes, then if you like me, hire me. Not strictly legal, but hey, some smaller employers might want to do that, and they might be willing to do that. It's always a great option to go in and try to get that intern with your toe in the water first. Then the employer knows you. They know what to expect out of you, so they're more willing to hire you versus someone they randomly see
you've been trained already. And listen, you can follow, Cory has his own Twitter page. We're going to pull that up in a minute. Next thing I would really like to talk about when you can come back is you're awesome and you're friendly and personable. So you'd be easy to talk to, I would think. You wouldn't be you make people feel comfortable. But give our viewers tips on how to interview with an HR person that, is a cold fish or whatever, arrogant, whatever. Right.
I'll be happy to come back.
There's always the personality types, and it's really important to find a common denominator, bond with that person. Get them to like you.
Be happy to do it.
That'd be great. Okay. Thank you, Cory.
You got it.
I'll see you later.
Have a great day.